Hey guys, Al DeMarco here, General Manager at DeMarcoSports.com, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. Here on the videos, I've been on a little bit of a roll with the NFL complimentary plays over the past 9 weeks, going 35, 14, and 1. 35, 14, and 1. And those are the plays that I've been giving away. And today, I've got 3 complimentary plays for you. On the early card, it's going to be the game between Baltimore and the Rams, along with the Texans and the Jets. Yeah, I know you're all waiting for that game. And then on the late card, one of the premier games, Kansas City and Buffalo. 2 teams both coming off losses. Going to break them all down for you. Those are the free plays today. Yesterday, basketball had my first Raise the Bar 20-dime release of the season. James Madison, 6-point road favorite, winning by 15 at Old Dominion. 10-2 basketball run, NBA and college hoops combined, over the past 3 weeks. Now, last Sunday, I had my first Raise the Bar 20-dime release in the NFL. How easy was that one? The 49ers crushing the Eagles in Philadelphia. FYI, today, my second Raise the Bar 20-dime release in the NFL. It's going to be the Eagles game, the Sunday night game between the Cowboys and the Birds. If you're interested, it's not advertised anywhere, but you can get it for half price by using coupon code, once again, the word half. I try to keep it easy, guys, HALF, and that is over on DeMarcoSports.com. Again, that is the second Raise the Bar 20-dime release that I've had this season. And as I always like to say, a lot of guys have these double platinum plays. They have their 1 million star releases, blah, 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 how they rate their plays. I try to always have had a very narrow rating system, 5 to 15 dimes, 5, 10, and 15, so you know exactly how I love a play. 15 dime is my usually normal max wager play. 20 dime is even stronger. What can I tell you? That's how I roll. And that's what's going on. FYI also, if you want to know who's been red hot, I've got to talk about Rick Torino again. Quickly, today, he has joined the site at the beginning of last season. College and pro football combined. Today, he has his 100 dime all-in max wager winner, number 29 out of 40. It is also on the Eagles and Cowboys, and he's going for number 10 out of 11 this season. It's available today at over half price off. The other guy who has been red hot happens to be Steve Budin, my partner in crime. I don't know if I should say it that way, really. It doesn't quite sound so cool, does it? Anyway, Steve's Baltimore crew. Today, NFL winner number 15 out of 19 this season, and that includes the preseason. And Sunday winner number 10 out of 11, they've got their release on the Bills and Chiefs. So that's another big play going today. And, of course, Anson Munson, who's going for winning day number 30 out of 47, his second ever 150 dime release, and his normal 100 dime plays, he's on a 10-4 run. That's going today. Over the past 46 days, $10 bettors have made $7,155. That's wins minus losses minus the VIG. That's the only thing you should ever be concerned about when you're judging a handicapper. How much have they cleared for you? Wins, losses minus the VIG over a certain time period. So many guys in this industry like to hide behind their wins and losses, and they'll post records from years ago. Who the hell cares? It means nothing. I just don't understand it. It's a great way to hide, though. Anyway, that's what's going on today. And as I always like to tell you, if you have not taken advantage of it yet, and you'd like to get all those plays for free using the 2-day free all-access pass, you can certainly do so. You get all today's plays, which normally would cost $109 for free, and you can get a second day for free as well over at DeMarcoSports.com by using the 2-day free all-access pass. The only way you lose is if you don't take advantage of this absolutely free offer. There is no strings attached here, guys. So check it out, the 2-day free all-access pass over at DeMarcoSports.com. Okay, let's get to your complimentary plays. I think the game between the Bills and Kansas City is fascinating. So the Bills are coming off a bye. And before that, of course, in their last game, they had the lead, looked like an easy win at Philadelphia. And then listen, I was quite grateful that they blew the lead because I had the Eagles that day as a normal 15-time best bet. And the Eagles came back and managed to win that game. The positive in that game is that minus Ken Dorsey as their former offensive coordinator, for the first time since the first few weeks of the season, the Bills' offense looked damn good. And Josh Allen just was unstoppable. Now, was it because the Eagles' defense was so bad or the Bills' offense was so good? I'm not quite sure. It was a mixture of those type of things. But the Bills looked like they knew what they were doing. But their defense didn't play so well. But let's face it, the Eagles were rolling that day, especially in the second half. So now they're coming off the bye, and they're taking on a Kansas City team that offensively really has not been doing well all year. Because look at those wide receivers. When you take Travis Kelce out of the picture, who the hell does Patrick Mahomes have to rely on? The good thing about the Chiefs this year is they've been able to run the ball pretty consistently, but their number one back, Isaiah Pacheco, the seventh-round draft pick out of Rutgers in his second season, is out today. And he has had over 20 touches minimum the last 4 games. So who's going to be taking his place? Well, that's going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I thought coming out of LSU was going to be a very productive back, but he got injured and he never really became anything for the Chiefs. Kind of got buried on the bench as others took his place. And running against the Bills is advisable because they give up almost 5 yards a carry. So if the Chiefs are going to have issues moving the ball, that's going to be problematic because we've seen if it's Mahomes and Kelce and who else, a bunch of Kansas City receivers who have the dropsies, not exactly a recipe for success because the Bills generally play well defensively, especially against the pass. They generate a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And the Bills offensively, even though you had that period which ultimately resulted in Ken Dorsey getting fired, you look at the pure numbers, and you got the Bills, who are second in red zone conversion rate, and they lead the NFL in third down conversion rate. They're a 1.5-point underdog. Kansas City is not this team that you could just reliably say they're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. How did they lose to the Packers? How did they lose at home to the Lions this year? I think Buffalo is going to win this game. Now, I'm not betting the house on it. It's a complimentary play, but I like the Bills here. On the early card, you've got Baltimore, and it's going to be an ugly game on all your games on the East Coast here today in the Northeast. Rain, 95% chance of rain, morning through the rest of the day. You're going to probably have over a half-inch of rainfall minimum during this game between the Ravens and Rams. You already have the Rams at a deficit because it's going to be 10 a.m. their time when this game kicks off. You've got a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast. That's always at a disadvantage. You've got the Ravens coming off a bye. They've won 6 of their last 7. The only game in that stretch that they lost was that epic fourth-quarter collapse at home against the Browns. I know all about it. I'm still having nightmares because I had the damn Ravens that day when they blew the 14-point fourth-quarter lead. But listen, John Harbaugh, I'm going to forgive you for that one because your brothers made me some money in Michigan this year. I forgive you. The bottom line here is that the Rams have won 3 straight games, beating Seattle, Arizona, and Cleveland, not exactly murderer's row. I think that in the rain, it definitely favors the team that can run the ball better, and that's going to be Baltimore. I mean, you've got the number 1 running offense in the NFL. You've got a quarterback who's mobile as opposed to a guy who's just going to stand in the pocket in Matthew Stafford. So although it's a big number, it's 7.5, I'm going to go with Baltimore. I'm naturally buying down the half point. And of these 3 selections, the number 1 pick today, I say go with the Houston Texans. Again, you've got miserable weather. You have 2 good defenses between the Jets and the Texans. So what is the thing that's going to break out in this picking in this game? It comes down to the quarterback. Do you want your money on you-know-who, Zach Wilson, or C.J. Stroud? Let me think about that for a second. Okay, I thought about it. I'm going to go with the Texans in here. Okay, yes, they lost their best receiver in Tank Dell. But listen, They're coming off the win against Denver, snapping the Broncos' 5-game winning streak. They intercepted Russell Wilson 3 times. Can you say how many interceptions Zach Wilson will throw today quickly? They were up 16-3 early in that Denver game, then held off the Broncos' late charge. They outgained the Broncos 353 to 282, and the Broncos defense had been playing really well here lately. They held Denver to 0 for 11 on third down conversions in there. They probably would have won the game more handily if they didn't commit 8 penalties for 81 yards. They've won 6 of their last 8 on the road, including winning at Jacksonville, winning at Cincinnati. What can I say about the Jets? Not much. So of those 3 selections, I like Houston, number 1. Buffalo, I'm going to give Baltimore number 2, and then the Bills would be number 3 in that scenario. Now, lately I've been running down like all the games on the board, and I have no problem doing that again here today. So let's get to it. And again, my best bet happens to be the Eagles and Cowboys, and you can get it as the half price play of the day over at DeMarcosports.com using the coupon code HALF. There's not a lot of games here I really particularly love here today. Jacksonville and Cleveland, the Jaguars because of the quarterback situation. The Browns, of course, starting Joe Flacco again today. Browns have the edge defensively. It's just not a game that I'm interested in at all. Detroit and Chicago. This one is an interesting game. I broke the game down. The Lions defense has just been absolutely pathetic. We all know that. In fact, they were darn lucky to win the first game here. You look at this Lions defense. I wrote down the stats here, and let me just look them up here. Detroit's defense has allowed in its last 4 games since coming off the bye 38, 26, 29, and 28 points. So is the fact that the Lions have covered 9 of their last 11 on the road really that important? Maybe the fact that Justin Fields has been so successful against Detroit, maybe that's more important. He has had 3 straight 100-yard-plus rushing games against the Lions. In fact, in his last 3 games against the Lions, 383 total yards rushing. Jared Goff in that first meeting back in Week 11, 3 interceptions. Lions had to have that miraculous comeback to beat them, beating the Bears. It's going to be a windy, blustery, cold day. Jared Goff doesn't generally perform that well in those type of conditions. And yet I still lean toward the Lions because I just don't have that much faith in the Bears. So I would deviate or lean toward the Lions and buy down the half point off of 3. New Orleans and Carolina. Derek Carr is going to probably start here for the Saints. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not too sure. But I know one thing. I certainly can't back Carolina. So I would lean toward the Saints here and take the 6 or lay the 6. Atlanta, -2 at home against Tampa Bay. I lean toward the Falcons in this one. That and 425 will probably get you something at Starbucks. Indianapolis and Cincinnati. You tell me, who are the real Bengals? The Bengals that looked so pathetic 2 weeks ago, or the Bengals that looked so good with Jake Browning making his second start just the other night? I'm going to lean toward the latter, and I like the Bengals -2.5 because, damn, if Browning can deliver a good ball, he's got the receivers, right? Now, the Bengals certainly still have their defensive issues, but the Colts. So I like the Bengals at home. Maybe they do make a late push for the playoffs here. So I like the Bengals in this one. San Francisco and Seattle. No ifs, ands, or buts. The 49ers are a superior team. But they had been looking for payback against the Eagles for nearly a year. They got it last week. If there was ever a situation for a team to be in a letdown spot, it is San Francisco. So there's no way I would possibly lay the 13.5 points with the 49ers. Would I consider the San Francisco 49ers in a teaser, taking them down to 6.5? Sure. But I can't even find another team to tell you to tease with them. There's no other game here that I particularly love here. Minnesota, going with Josh Dobbs. -3 at the Raiders. Can't really show any love for either one of those teams in that one. Denver had the 5-game winning streak snapped. Chargers, 3-point favorite at home. Geez, they scored 6 at New England last week in the rain. I like Denver here to win this game outright +3. And that'll do it because, remember, we've got 2 games tomorrow night, Tennessee, Miami, Green Bay, New York. Well, at least one of them will be worth watching, right? So that'll do it for today. I wish you well, guys, and talk to you again tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have better lighting here. I just moved into a new place, And yeah, I feel like I'm in a tomb. Good luck. See you soon.